Good morning, everyone. This is Misha. I'm trying for the first time to do a live stream through my Zoom account, not webinar. And I will be shortly interviewing Phoebe Fazio, who is a friend of mine. And I'm excited that she'll be joining us. This is for my podcast channel also, which is the Passing Joy Around the World episodes. I also have a podcast. It's all the same channel, but I also have a podcast that I've created now for the discussions, the candid conversations on systemic racism. So I just wanted to share that with you. I am very excited to be able to do both. It's kind of like the dichotomy of what's going on in the world, of being able to feel joy and feel pain at the same time. And I think that's what a lot of my friends in the webinars have been sharing, is that regardless of the pain, that the hope is what's keeping them going, that this change, this shift, this movement right now is really causing tremendous hope and even joy. I will also say that it's really critical that while we are seeking pain, we are also, while we are feeling pain, we're not seeking pain. I was distracted. My guest is having tech issues. So I'm just gonna let her know that we are online now. I think that it's important that while we are experiencing pain, that we do find ways to nurture ourselves, to allow ourselves to think of things that bring us joy, to do things that bring us joy. And, that may come with privilege, and we have to consider and think about that. And at the same time, I do have a lot of friends, and they all identify themselves differently. I have Black friends, brown friends, African-American friends, people of color, and they all have said that, they continue to experience joy even when it's really, really painful. And so I'm super excited that my friend Phoebe is here for us. We are live, and welcome, Phoebe. So glad you could make it.
Hello, hello.
I told my audience 10 a.m. So I thought, you know what, why not? I'm just gonna get on
We'll
live.
just jump in and on the fly. Here we go.
Do it. Yeah, we got this. It's all good. So I was just kind of reminding people that, with everything that's going on in our country and has been going on for over 450 years, and I'm not belittling that by any means, but just to catch you up, the idea that there's a lot of pain and grief and sadness, and we can simultaneously experience joy and happiness and hope. And so my webinar podcasts that are a candid conversation about systemic racism, and also offering resources to privileged people, those who are more light-skinned, that has also been one facet of my life. But the other facet of my life is having these podcasts that emphasize joy around the world, and what does joy mean, and what is joy. So before I continue, welcome. I'm delighted to have you, and I would love for you just to tell us a little about you.
Well, I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you, Misha, for inviting me. About me. Well, gosh, how much do you want to know?
Anything and everything. I will be very honest.
How much time have you got?
I posted your bio with the event, and I posted your bio with the podcast, and then I didn't pull it up in front of me to read. So I would love for you just to give your bio, and I will say, yes, Phoebe.
Okay, I'll just do it off the top of my head.
Yeah. And I might actually be able to, let me see. I might actually be able to see if I did. Okay, so I'm interviewing Phoebe Fazio. Yeah, she's a very dear friend of mine, and we're talking about authentic and wholehearted joy. Phoebe is a speaker, a summit host, and a visibility coach who trains hands-on healers and channelers to be more visible and attract their ideal clients so they can have a thriving, profitable, and sustainable healing practice. Phoebe has developed a 7-step system to grow her business in her Channel Your Business 6-month program that takes you, her clients, from having a vision to actually living their vision. And I also participated in a short program with
Mhm.
Phoebe to learn how to voice my vision. And I am on my way. I am doing it. I'm
You
super
sure
excited.
are.
I have my podcast channel for joy. I am considered a heartstring healer or heartstring tuner, help you tune your heartstrings, a
Right.
live, life, and laugh coach. I'm sorry, a live, love, and laugh coach. I don't even know my own title. I'm also an academic life coach, working with students of all ages, and but mostly high school and preliminary college, to become more organized and strategize their way through school and enjoy it a little more than they may. And I'm trilingual, and yeah, I'm excited. This is a really great day. So what I would love to find out from you, Phoebe, is how are you feeling right now? How are you doing?
I'm
To
really
be really
glad.
honest here, my voice
Yeah.
and my listeners know this is authentic. I cry, I talk, I laugh.
Right.
So
Right.
be who you need to be.
And I appreciate you speaking into what's going on in the world and what's been going on in our world in this country, especially for so many years, and and the aspect of joy. And I'd love to speak into that, but as far as how I'm feeling a little off kilter, to be honest. It's always a conscious effort to find balance, balance between self care and putting myself out in the world, balance between working and playing, between the sad, the darker feelings, and the lighter feelings. And so right now, I'm feeling, yeah, a little bit, I arrived late. Tech issues, they sort of toss me up in the air, and I just have to come back into trusting and knowing that this cat meowing is important. that somebody's going to need to hear that, and maybe it'll make them smile. Or
Yeah, it made me smile inside.
right.
And there are others who might run away scared because they're allergic. So who knows?
Right. Well, at least you won't get the dander.
Oh, I'm not allergic.
I mean, anybody that's allergic, though.
Yeah, I know.
Don't have to worry about that.
Thank goodness for technology, right? You can have all the
Right?
cat you want, just not in your lap.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We
I
say you can't
understand
live
the.
with it, but you can't throw it against the wall, that
No, no, no.
technology
Yeah, you
stuff.
can't. She is not a violent person, everyone. She is not a violent person. She will not throw her cat against the wall. I promise
I
you.
meant my technology, not my cat.
Okay, and these are the little things that give us joy, being silly and quirky. And yeah, thank you for explaining
Well,
that.
sometimes the cat, but
Oh, look at
she just
that.
leaped up and scratched me in the leg.
So let me ask you, when you hear the word joy, what does that evoke in you?
That's a really loaded question,
I mean,
honestly.
I start off at the top,
Yeah,
dive right in.
because it depends on the moment. Like,
Exactly.
if I'm feeling good, joy just brings out, like, yes, let's go play, let's do all the fun things. And yet, if I'm in deep, even contemplation, I might not really want to resonate there with the word joy. It might be contentment. Might be able to get up to there.
This
And
is
it
why I
might
don't send
be,
my questions out early to
yeah.
the people I
And it
interview.
might be, I'm in deep grief, and joy just doesn't match with grief. I can't just make that leap instantly.
Mhm.
I can move there, and I can recognize that I can feel that again. You
Yeah.
know, there are those times I feel like I've never felt joy, never gonna feel joy ever again, because it feels so bad right here. But I know that's not true.
Mhm.
When I tap to what's really true for me, it's like, well, okay, right now it feels that way, and that's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all is temporary and interchangeable,
Hmm.
And so when, like you said, we're feeling that grief, if we're solid in ourselves, knowing that that is going to pass,
Hmm.
then we can walk into and through joy as well. And then when we're in the joy place, we can also know that that's temporary. And so to hold on to it and enjoy it as much as we can while it's there, knowing that we're going to walk through it and possibly pass into fear or grief or sadness. But
Hmm.
all of it is temporary. I saw a really wonderful I was in some group and there was a back screen. Somebody had a back screen and it had the acronym. It had the word hope, but as an acronym. And it said, hold on, pain ends.
I like that
So
one.
HOPE,
Yeah.
hold on, pain ends. And the reality is, well, you can't say hold on, joy ends, but it doesn't sound as good. But the idea is that, I really appreciate what you said around the word joy. What does that evoke? And it really depends. It depends on where you are. It depends on how you're feeling. It depends on what's going on for you or in the world, as to how you accept or reject the word and then the feelings that are associated with it.
Yeah, and I love what you said, that it's ever changing, ever moving. And so, being in the flow of that and knowing that, yeah, I can't really hold on to this. I mean, I know, in our minds we want to enjoy and stay in the moment, but no amount of grasping and gripping and holding is really going to keep me in that state of joy.
Right.
And sometimes the joy is in riding the wave of, ooh, here we are. Oh, this is really fun. This is exciting, and this kind of joy. And then coming down into quieter times when I'm feeling joy. This isn't like the standard expression of joy, but this feels joyful even in the quiet moments.
Oh, absolutely. I was just thinking of two different examples, the joy and the high of falling in love, right? Also that I have actually, with my hearing issues and my physical pain, when my body is just calm, I feel joy very deeply. Like I'm not experiencing a level 8 or 7 pain when I'm not in the midst of some crisis. And I just feel that silence and calm in my body. That brings me tremendous joy. And they're two very different experiences.
Yeah, and the contrast, like what you're talking about, coming out of something like a high level of pain can create joy.
Yeah.
Whereas it wouldn't necessarily feel that way if you weren't starting with pain and coming out of that.
Yeah, sadly, we need our pain to feel the joy better, right?
Well, we need the darkness to see the light too.
Right. Absolutely.
There's the balance again, and it's not only a static balance; it's a constantly moving, balancing, enjoying again the wave, the movement through it. Yeah.
So if I were to ask you, well, I'm going to ask you, not if I were to ask you, I'm going to ask you, growing up, do you feel that you grew up with any concept of joy? Was there joy in your life, your family, your schooling, did you have joy? Did you notice it or recognize it? Are there memories that you could share that brought you joy or bring you joy now thinking of them?
It's funny, looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, we did some fun things. But going through it, my memories of how I felt going through it didn't feel joyful. It didn't feel like I had things that I loved doing, or that when I did them, I could really be in the moment of joy. It seemed like I was always watching everybody else and comparing myself to, and not feeling enough, or not feeling like I'm getting what they're getting, or there's always that comparison. And a lot of photographs are of me not smiling, not liking to get my picture taken, not liking to wear the clothes that I was expected to wear, or whatever it was. But I have a lot of time in my body memory of not joyful. And yet I can go out in nature and go, I remember camping and, the nature and learning about the trees and watching the squirrels, and remembering that and looking back with joy. Yeah. But in the moment, I was too busy, I don't know, being a kid. I don't know. I just didn't really, I wasn't in a place where we talked about it either. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about our feelings, good or bad.
Yeah.
Feeling joyful today? It was, how are you feeling today? Nobody asked me that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Gosh, you and I ask each other that all the time.
I know, every day.
Yeah. Wow. And it's interesting. I wonder, while you were talking, as a child growing up, do you think maybe the idea or concept of joy has to do with maturity? Or more knowledgeable we become with what's going on in our world or in our environment?
Yeah, it's more of a mental construct, like labeling it, that's joy. Because I can look back and go, oh yeah, I mean, play with my kid friends and roller skating, and I mean,
And
yeah,
maybe the word you used was happy. I'm so
maybe,
happy.
or maybe, I mean, it gets tied to like my mother going, go outside and play, leave me alone, go outside and play, go do something.
Get out of my hair. Get out
Yeah,
of
right. And so I'm accomplishing something I was told to do.
Interesting.
And
Wow.
maybe there's joy in that, but I like that. I like that concept though that kids generally are in joy, but they don't necessarily know it.
There's innocence, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So, do you feel today in your life that joy comes naturally to you, or do you have to work at it?
Today, joy comes naturally to me. Yeah. I can find something humorous in almost anything. Well, not everything.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously, there's some serious stuff going on right now that I wouldn't say I find joy in that,
right.
but I can find my joy, I would say, in spite of it. It's almost like I feel like that is an essential part of my self care and my ability to hold space for all that's going on and the pain that people are experiencing, and myself included. And so there's that balancing, that moving through, but I feel like I move to joy more easily.
Mm.
you
Can
know
you explain that? Can you talk about that?
yeah, yeah. Whereas I used to spend a lot of time down in the dark, you might call it depression, or just feeling, grief, sadness, loneliness, and recognizing that I get to choose. I get to choose how I feel about things,
Mm-hmm.
about anything.
Yeah.
And I don't have to feel a certain way because that is the norm, or that's what whoever I think
Right.
expects me to feel.
Right.
And so, finding a way to stay amused,
Yeah.
even if it's at the complete opposites of the media. One says this, one says that. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? And staying interested rather than going into anger over, oh, that's wrong, or hearing it, feeling it, experiencing it, and also seeing some joyful aspect into the craziness of living a life as a human in these
Yeah.
times.
Well, I know that, as painful as things have been in our country for many, many years, this week alone, there's been some hopeful movement as a result of the protests and a lot of people diving into sustainable action.
Mm-hmm.
And that's brought me a lot of joy to see the Supreme Court making decisions around LGBTQ rights and the DACA, the Dreamers. And I want the Supreme Court to start doing something immediately for Black people.
Mm-hmm.
And but I feel more hopeful that can happen, whether it be through the election or whatever else. And I think for me, that hope and that joy are interlinked right now.
Yeah.
Also participating in a book club last night where there were 18 people who showed up
Mm-hmm.
to read together about anti-racism. And that gives me a huge sense of joy. And at the same time, I'm feeling like I'm falling in love and I'm flying to meet this person and I've got that level of joy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that, oh,
Sorry.
Rue, hello.
Rue is
Maybe
here.
we shouldn't say his name on TV. No, I'm sorry.
His anonymity.
But there's that, yeah, I mean, I don't know that I really aligned this very well with what you were saying, but the idea is that there's a lot of pain and there's also a lot of things that can come out of it that can
Mm-hmm.
be very joyful.
And I get what you're pointing to also is being grateful for what is happening,
Yes.
for the awarenesses that are happening. And, we don't always see that when we're mired in the darkness. So we can feel the sadness and rise up so that we can get to a frame of mind where we can operate, we can do something, whatever that looks like in the world.
Now I remember why I was going there, because in this movement, we're, friends of mine and myself, we're trying to work with people to understand sustainable action. In order to feel joy in our life, we also have to have sustainable action for ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to eat well, to exercise, to talk to friends, to reach out in whatever capacities to help us so we're not so alone and isolated.
Exactly.
That's where I was going. So I was like,
so I knew you'd get there.
I know I get roundabout, but that's okay. The idea is to walk through that pain, both in the systemic issues that we have going on and individually. We really have to be willing every day to take those small steps. And for some of us, those steps are really huge, but they are called small steps. To be able to get in joy, or be able to feel some sense of lightness.
Right. And that speaks
to... There shouldn't be guilt or shame around feeling that lightness, because that's what we need to be able to contribute more.
Right. And it's not the pie in the sky, let's just be happy all the time.
Right.
It's the journey to the joy. It's the journey through the difficult emotions that lift us up to joy. Joy being the top of the emotional scale, I guess, according to Abraham. Or oh, bless you.
I muted myself, but I didn't think about it in time.
That's okay. That's right.
Exactly.
This is authentic, right?
Right. Authentic and wholehearted Misha. Okay.
And the joy of a sneeze.
Yeah, it does actually give a lot of people joy when they hear my sneeze, because I don't know why I squeak like I do, but that's okay. So, question for you, kind of staying on the same theme, obviously, of joy, because that's my podcast. But does joy look differently for you? How does joy look differently for you as an individual and in an intimate relationship? You are in an intimate relationship.
I am.
How does, are you?
You know this about me, but they don't know.
Actually, you posted it on your Facebook that you're.
It's official. It's Facebook official.
So how do you see joy looking differently for you as an individual than in an intimate relationship? Maybe you can give me a window into individual joy for Phoebe, intimate relationship joy for Phoebe.
Well, that's interesting.
Without too much detail.
Oh, darn. I was really wanting to get in there with those details.
Uh-oh, made her cough. Okay.
It's not COVID. I'm good.
Get my mask on.
Yeah. Well, I love that question. For me, which is interesting because I'm in relationship with someone else who enjoys being alone. So joy for me is sometimes being alone, doing what I love, which is a balance of deep self-care, meditation, self-care practices, spiritual practices, and also working. I mean, I love my work. I love the work I do with healers and channelers, helping them build their business. It just brings me so much joy that I want to work all the time, like I just want to do it. And yet I know that if I just did that 24/7, like my brain wants me to do, I would not enjoy it as much. I would not be as present as I am for my clients. And so that brings me that balance, and I have a lot of fun finding the balance too, and leaning on support. I have a lot of support people, you being one of them, that I talk to, and really helps me stay focused on what's next for me. As far as in an intimate relationship, that can look like any kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, from simple touching to, sex or whatever, but also just sitting together. Or, we just drove for 8 hours yesterday in the car, and moments of talking about all kinds of things, whatever we see outside, or inner conversations with, deeper parts of ourselves, or just sitting and being together. That that joy can come up in almost any situation. As I said before, it kind of turns around. Yeah, yeah. And he lives in a place of great beauty. I've got some beauty around me too, but he's out in the woods, and I just, we go on walks and enjoy the smell of the trees and the wildlife and the flowers and everything around us. So
Yeah,
it's a lot
nature
of
does that for me too.
yeah,
Yeah, I do feel the deepest joy when I'm in nature.
yeah, same.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I think I don't know if you have something you'd like to offer the viewers or listeners as far as your business. If you want to tell a little bit more about what you do, and
Yeah, sure.
I know that you have a
I have a
great
free
practice.
gift. Yeah, I have a free gift for anybody that's watching. I'd love to share with you all. Um, I'm all about living your vision. And so I have a 3-step process. It's a proven 3-step process that takes you from having a vision to living your vision. And I'd love to share that with you all. I guess I can post it in the comments, a link.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd
I
be
can
the
always edit the
easiest.
post too to include it in the
Okay.
description. But sure, you can put
Okay.
it in the comments. Absolutely.
Yeah. And what you'll get is I'll walk you through the 3 steps. And so there's a video with me showing you how to do it. And you'll get an audio track so you can practice the regular daily practice, as well as a colored chart that will help guide you through the practice. And yeah, and the secret is to drop into your vision and get as much detail as you can in what you see there and to speak it. And so this practice helps you be able to come into the vision and also to be able to speak it clearly so that you can bring it back into your awareness often and then move you on that path. And if you are a healer or a channeler and you're inviting your ideal clients to you, as you walk your path towards your vision, your clients are walking on that same path and they're looking for you. So I get to hold you through the challenges, because sometimes there's a huge old boulder there that we can't even figure out I can't go over it, can't go around it. Yeah. So that's where, I'm very helpful with that. And also, just learning the technology and all the different avenues that are possible for you to have a thriving, profitable healing practice. So I hope you'll take me up on the free gift and reach out if something is resonating for you.
Awesome. And I will say to anybody listening or watching, yeah, Phoebe has been instrumental in helping me go from having a vision to living my vision, and I'm doing it more and more every day. And so yeah, we'll put it either in the description or in the comments.
Beautiful.
And then and I think what I offer will align quite beautifully, which is I have 3 secrets to living joyfully. And so I'll also put that in the comments. And so you can live joyfully, and then you can move into the 3-step process from having a vision to living a vision. And between you, maybe you're set for life. I mean, what an amazing combination.
Oh, yeah. And living in joy brings that
Living
vibration, that higher vibration that attracts all that you desire to you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Oh, and I'm so proud of you, Misha, just watching you moving towards your vision and thriving. And I always feel so honored when my clients share their visions with me, because I get to hold that. Like I can see what you shared with me, and it is so clear that you're going in that direction. So
yeah,
thank you.
Excited, enjoying it very, very much.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
fun.
we'll say goodbye to everybody. And because I like to be authentic, I will shut off the podcast. I'll shut off the live Facebook, and then you and I will get to say goodbye to each other. So don't go anywhere.
All right.
So I want to thank everybody again. My name is Misha Safran of Safran Consulting. I'm the founder of the Authentic and Wholehearted Joy channel on podcast. I actually changed the title recently to now I can't remember my titles, Hate, Grief, and Joy, something like that. And I also have created several different Facebook groups. If you're a lesbian, bisexual, trans, or queer woman, I have the LGBTQ Women with an X, Living, Loving, and Laughing. And I also have the Open to All Women, Authentic and Wholehearted Joy. For the men who are watching and listening, I have Safran Consulting, my page. I definitely will service men if you need to have assistance and want assistance in changing your life and bringing more joy into your life. I'm happy to have you reach out to me through private message or through my email, which will also be on the post. So thank you, everyone. Anything you want to say as a last final thing to our viewers and listeners, Phoebe?
I just want to encourage you, if you're in a dark place, that it's okay if you don't feel joyful.
Yeah.
There's no shame in the feelings that we have, and just know that that is a state of an emotion that you'll feel at some point. It will come back, and
Well
feel
said.
feel the feelings, right?
Feel the feeling.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel for
Great.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't know how to stop the live, but I'm going to try. I think I just go stop live stream. There we go. Thanks everybody for listening and watching. Bye.
Bye.